How do you approach negotiation in the workplace?
I was in a negotiation class in graduate school, and the teacher on day one asks, "Who here loves negotiating?" And absolutely no one raised their hand. And these are all like type A people who love getting after what they want. And then finally, one person raises their hand, and they've got a little bit of a half smile, and they say, "I learned everything I needed to know about negotiating from playing Settlers of Catan." And there's a lot of truth in this statement because negotiating, in the sense of Catan, is really just understanding what are the dynamics of our competitive domain, seeing and trying seeking to understand what are the needs of your counterpart and trying to find alignment in as quick as efficient and transparent and trustworthy way as possible, right? That's what we're doing in Catan. And sometimes there's a little bit of like backstabbing and backdooring involved, and we try to avoid that, but sometimes it's necessary. But I think what's counterintuitive about negotiating is we think that we have to be like stealthy, like this sly ninja where we're going to Jedi mind trick our counterpart, and that's just not the case. You just have to say, "I want two wheat for one wood. Would anyone be willing to help each other out? And if you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back," right? And so it's a matter of surfacing information in a way that builds trust with each other. And so I suppose when he said that he learned everything from Catan, he actually did really well in the negotiation class because he spent a lot of time. And so um, I think the same thing applies in an external sense. If you're going to a company, right, you have to say, well, here are my expectations for this salary, for this job, given the scope and the responsibilities that you've defined and the impact that I think I can have. And here's the range based off of the research that I found. What is this something that your company can do? And so again, we are trying to not be stealthy or sly, but provide information to be able to signal trust to our counterpart. In the context of work, let's talk about like perhaps the most important stakeholder that you're going to have on the day to day, which is if you're an individual contributor, your manager. So how do we actually negotiate with our manager? And maybe it's not compensation, but maybe it's a promotion. Maybe it is carving out a fraction of our time to be able to pursue a project that aligns with the ways in which that you or I want to grow. And so I think, again, the principles of negotiation are very similar. We have to, one, do our preparation. And I think that's what 90% of people forget about negotiation. We just go into it sort of haphazardly and say, "Here's what I want. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to walk away." That's the lazy way to approach a negotiation. The better way to go into a negotiation is to say, "Here's what I anticipate are going to be the objections to what I want from my counterpart," and actually to enumerate them. And then in my preparation, I will have my rebuttals for each of those so that I can enter into this conversation proactively and be able to surface those in a way that is non confrontational, not guns blazing, and just saying from a point of transparency, "I think that I would like to pursue this side project with about 20% of my time. And perhaps three of the concerns that you would have would be one, will this detract from my team? Two, will this get in the way of some of the more priority projects? And three, is this actually aligned to the business?" For each of those, I've done some pre thought and I invite your perspective on that. But here are my takes on that. And so now your preparation has enabled you to go in and proactively address these potential objections with your counterpart, all in a way that fortifies trust, provides transparency, and allows you to get to a higher third path with your counterpart, which is not just yes or no, but perhaps they're now going to want to find a way to help you because they know how invested you are, and you just gave them the grace of providing them with information.